Welcome to Growing Tall Poppies, Thrive After Trauma. I'm your host, Dr. Nat Green, and I am so excited to have you join me as we discuss what it means to navigate your way through trauma or significant challenges and not just survive, but to thrive after it. This is a space for people who've been through trauma or adversity, have done some healing, and know they're meant for more than just coping. This podcast is about post-traumatic growth, not getting back to who you used to be. Rather, understanding who you are now and learning how to stand tall without shrinking, forcing, or abandoning yourself. Here, we explore identity after adversity, integrity and visibility wounds, nervous system wisdom, and what it really takes to move forward in a way that feels aligned, embodied, and true. You will hear a blend of deep solo conversations and powerful guest interviews with people who have lived this work, not just studied it. Because growth doesn't come from pushing harder, it comes from understanding how you adapted, honouring your nervous system, and gently updating the old agreements that no longer fit the life you're ready to live. If you're ready to stop hiding, stop performing, and start owning who you are becoming, then you are in the right place. Let's grow tall together. I'm super excited today to bring you our next guest on the Growing Tall Poppies podcast. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome a lovely lady who I only recently connected with. She's here to chat with us today to share some of her own story and how that has led to the work that she does today. So let me introduce Dr. Heather Clark to you all. Dr. Heather is an existential coach and creator of Divinely Structured Success, an innovative framework to help service-minded neurospicy souls create sustainable prosperity. A blending of science and spirit, her unique approach helps her clients break free from stress, fatigue, and limitations so that they can not only make their dreams real, but also enjoy a life and business of purpose, meaning, and impact, all without sacrificing their well-being. Doesn't that sound exactly like what the majority of us want? So welcome, right. Heather. It's so great to have you here.
It is lovely to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, my pleasure. I'm really excited to chat a bit more. I know we caught up last week and I just felt like I connected with you straight away and really love your energy. So yes, I'm excited.
Likewise. Yes, me too.
Who knows where this will end up?
Exactly.
Buckle in. I know I've read out the formal blurb, but let's start with you telling us a bit about who you are and what you do in the world.
Isn't that funny how questions like this should be so simple? But what I've discovered is people who are wired like I am, that's like, what do I do?
I'm wired similarly. It's all good. A lot of the audience are too. It's all good.
I know, but I share that because what I've discovered is the people who are drawn to work with me enjoy it when I can put words to something like that. And it's because so many times people who do the sort of work that you and I do, it's very stiff. It's very, oh no, I am perfect. Everything is good. And that is just not real. So let me just start with how this all happened.
Mm-hmm. I'd love that. Oh, yes. I like good stories.
So, and I'll not go back too far, but I do want to hit some highlights from when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. So you have to pick a career so that you can pick a college so that you can live your life. You're like 16. Like, I don't know who thought this was a good plan. So I went on a shadowing program. They took us to a hospital. I shadowed pharmacists and I was like, this sounds great. And then I got sick. I went to the doctor, had to get antibiotics. So mom and I are standing there in the pharmacy, and he took the piece of paper from us back in the day when it was paper,
Yeah.
turned around with his back to us, tippity typed and counted some pills into a little bottle, turned around 4 times a day, take it with food. That'll be X amount of money.
Oh, yep.
And we left, and I looked at mom and said, that is perfect for me. That is perfect for me. I wouldn't have to talk to anybody. That's amazing. She's like, well, school's hard. I said, oh, yeah, it'll be fine.
I love it.
This
I love it.
This is not how to pick a career, but that's what I did.
Note to self, don't do
I don't know to self. Bad plan. So pharmacy school was very difficult.
Mhm.
And difficult in ways I didn't expect. One of those things like I discovered I never learned how to study. Oops. I used to just pay
Sorry about
attention in class. I'd do the math homework during English, whatever.
Yep. Perfect
So
student.
I know. So I just kept thinking, this will be different when you get out. This will be different. Everybody said the workplace is different. Fantastic. So I did my residency. When I got out postdoc, I started to, get into practice, and I kept thinking, this will get better. This will get better eventually.
Mm.
And in part because the parts that I really loved, the actually helping people, wasn't happening a lot in the jobs I had. I was like, okay, well, clearly this isn't a fit. Let me try something else. Okay, so, retail wasn't it. Let me try long-term care farms, so like geriatrics.
Yeah.
Which in all parts of this, there are parts of all of this that I loved, but I was like, okay, well, that's not working for me. Let me try hospital. Let me try consultant pharmacy. And I was just like, what is going on here?
Mm.
And it's one of those things where you can be really good at what you do.
Yeah.
But there's things about it that just aren't working for you.
Mm.
And so I kept trying. I am kind of your type A control freak. If a little is good, a lot is better. Let me just try harder. I can just push on through.
Yes.
And then I'd had a lifetime of when you push through, it would work. So I kept trying to push through this.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is
Oh,
I
let me
burned
guess.
I know, it's a big shocker. Everybody's like, oh my goodness, what a surprise that she burnt out. No, absolutely. And it wasn't just, I'm going to take a few days off. It wasn't just, okay, this is a problem. This was a full-blown physical, I suddenly can no longer operate in the world.
Mm.
It was terrifying.
Oh, it would have been.
In retrospect, with the benefit of having healed up from it and hindsight, I saw, oh, there were a lot of opportunities where I could have made a different choice here. And I just didn't see it, couldn't do it. So this wasn't I'm a little tired. This was I would wake up, I would take a shower, and then I would have to lay back down.
Mm.
I went from, I only ran 3 miles today, to a few weeks later, I don't know if that dishwasher is going to get loaded. No idea.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll feed myself. Maybe not.
Significant change in a really short space of time, even though it had built up for years, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was almost like snap. And of course, that's showing up everywhere. During my lunch break, I would go to my car so I could sleep.
Fair enough.
And then I would wolf down food and go right back in. Not healthy. But I was like, clearly something's wrong, because I realized if anybody else told me this story, I would tell them to go to the doctor. And so it begins. I don't know if your healthcare system where you're at is perfect and lovely.
Of course it is.
It is not here.
No.
So went from doctor to doctor to doctor with increasingly exotic and expensive lab tests.
Okay.
And the answer kept coming back, I don't know, looks like you're fine. Looks like you're fine. And then you could kind of tell that some of them are like, it's all in your head. I just addressed it as like, if you think it's all in my head, that's great. But let's do something about that then, because this is a
Mm.
physical thing.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it took forever. And all sorts of weird things happened that you wouldn't expect, including, this is what really surprised me, but one physician had run a test and came back and said, well, we know it's not cancer. And
Thanks
I
for that.
was mad about that
Oh,
because I was,
interesting response. Yeah.
I know, because normally it'd be like, yay, but I was like, are you kidding me? Because
Mm.
that would be something we could do something about.
Yeah,
Because here
exactly.
I am facing, is this a life of like, I've got 10 good minutes a day? Like, what the
Mm.
heck? Finally got referred to a functional medicine physician. So
Mm.
this was, instead of a 7 or 8 minute appointment, this was an hour and a half appointment.
Yeah.
She listens to the whole saga because at this point I'm documenting every random thing that's happening, every random symptom, because I'm like, somewhere there will be this constellation of information that will
Yes.
give us what's going on. So she listens to it and goes, oh, well, you have adrenal fatigue. And I told her, oh, ma'am, I have been to school for a lot of years. I have never heard of adrenal fatigue. You know,
Mm.
been in healthcare for forever. I've done all
Yeah.
these things. I was like, I've never even heard of that. And she's like, let me tell you about it. So she explains it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, well, from a physiological standpoint, that makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
I'm like, hooray! Like, what do we do about it? And she goes, oh, you just take supplements. And I told her, I was like, I don't think you understand how serious this is. Because in my profession,
Mm.
supplements are basically heresy. Like they don't really work, they
Yeah.
don't this, they don't that. At that time, things are different
Yes.
now, but at that time, I was like, no, this is very serious.
And I think let's preface this right back for all our listeners that this is quite a while ago when adrenal fatigue was little known, certainly not discussed.
Mm-hmm.
And you're coming from that scientific medical model pharmacy background where give me a pill that'll fix this. So I think all of
Mm-hmm.
that's really, really important to bear in mind. So you would have been thinking, what? What are you talking about?
I know, like, yeah, you're right. This is like 15, 20 years ago where
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm sorry, what?
Mm, exactly.
Yeah, whereas now people, oh, I know what to do with that. Here's some
Yes.
structures, here's some much less dramatic, but at the time this was very dramatic.
No, definitely.
Um, and she was lovely. However, she gave me a 12-page handout on suggestions.
Mm, good.
And
Nice.
well, accept that. So, like before that or now, if you gave me a 12-page handout, I'd be like, no
Nope.
problem. I will come through this, I will figure it out. But for those who don't have a lived experience of adrenal fatigue, it's not just the physical tired, it's the mental things aren't connecting.
Mhm.
It's like life is very hard. Like,
Yeah.
like information that I'd known since 1994, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what class lisinopril is. That's that's
Yeah.
alarming.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, 12-page handout sounds great. Okay. So I just started to try things and eventually I hit on something that kind of worked.
Hmm.
But it was a lot of trial and error. It was
Yeah.
extremely expensive from a financial standpoint,
I can
but also
imagine.
from a mental, emotional, spiritual standpoint.
Mm.
Uh, it took a long time to get this figured out. And that when I did finally recover, I was like, I wonder, could I help people recover? And all
Mhm.
my friends around me were like, literally, we have told you that several times.
You weren't
But
ready to
I
hear it
couldn't
then.
receive it. I was in the middle of an incredibly stressful event.
Yeah.
It was a trauma,
Mm,
and it's the type of thing that changes how everything works. So I like
absolutely.
literally could not perceive what I was being told.
Yep.
So I'm doing better. I get some additional training because that's kind of
Yeah, it
That's
was
how I was rolling at the time.
more
It's like, if I'm
training.
going to do
Yep. More
different, I need new
qualifications.
training. Exactly. More
Hmm.
qualifications. Let me get more letters behind. But
Yeah. I know, I know. We see
right.
it so often, don't we? Because we think, "Oh, that's what we need to do. We need to do. We need to do
Hmm.
this. We need to do that." But the reality is, our lived experience tells us so much when we're ready to hear it.
It really does. And there's all these weird obligation drivers on.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did it because I felt much more comfortable.
Hmm.
Like, like this is what we're doing. This is how this works. And I began to implement what I was learning, and it was really helping people. It was really
Mm.
helping my clients. And can I just tell you, oh, how deeply satisfying that is? I was like, yes.
Yes.
I've discovered that I'm willing to do a whole lot if it's going to be helpful for the people that
Hmm.
I'm here to help. It's just part of who I am. I
Yeah, I
love it.
love that.
Um, and as I went along, because really I could just stop the story here and we would have a lot to talk about.
Mm.
It's like all of these additional things, um, because part of a business is what's the common denominator? What about what's really helping everybody? Who is better fit to work with me? It's just easier for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
So I was doing some business coaching,
Hmm.
and for anybody who's done any coaching, you know that you start to do things you don't normally do because you
Yep.
want a new result, got to do different things. It's not rocket science. And so I like had an astrological reading, and this is, can we just re-emphasize how strict and science this whole thing was for me?
Hmm.
So I'm like, that sounds dumb, but sure. And I'm a natural born improver. This is working. Why is it working? How can we make it work better, faster, more impact? It's like, that's
Yep.
just who I am. So I had 10 people in 10 days tell me, well, Heather, you're psychic, right? And the first person I was like, oh, 3 people in 10 days. The first person I was like, what? And I just, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
And the second person I was like, I don't even know what you mean. And that is really ridiculous. And, bah, 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 bah. And then she's like, well, it just means that you read energy. It's like, well, of course I read energy, but I don't, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then by the third person, I was like, oh, crap. I'm going to have to look into this. Like, this is such a pain. I'm just trying to make this business go. And here
Hmm.
I'm off doing this other intuitive stuff. So I get into it. I was like, and this is not from a let me explore my beautiful gifts. This is from a we just need to establish this isn't a thing now so I can move on.
Okay.
It was very much a thing. It was very much a thing.
Oh, what happens when you don't like what you hear?
I know. I was like, what? Because so I was doing all these different things to build the intuition and working with strangers. I'd never seen or heard them. And just whatever came in, came out. I was like, I don't care if this is crazy. That's fine. Boop, boop.
Hmm.
It was so impactful. It was so impactful for people.
Wow.
I had something come through where I was like, I don't know this person. I was like, I think your dead mom has a message. I don't even know if your mom's dead. I don't know you.
Mm.
And these words don't make sense to me. Here they are.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, so when she got done crying, she was like, that is so meaningful. And that is so soothing. And that helps me know that she's crossed over and all of that. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, you would have been thinking,
Okay.
what have I just done?
I
Okay,
know.
whatever works.
So I started using it more with clients because what I had discovered before this is that the turning point for people in their burnout recovery was when they began to not only understand but claim and own some
Mm.
part of who they really are. And then we're off to the races.
Yes.
So I brought in all of these different things, intuition, spirit, all of this with clients. And that turning point came sooner and sooner and sooner. The time to get a full recovery, because if you're trying to recover from burnout without a plan, this is like a 5 or 6 year operation.
Mm.
with a pretty good plan, depending on where you start, a year
Yeah.
or two. And then if it's some people, it's like a 6 month full recovery.
Yeah.
As little as, let's just be real clear. Let's not make,
Yeah.
but what I was discovering is we could get that shorter and shorter and shorter. And
Mm.
I was like, okay, I'm willing to get over myself because this is working so well. um, and then I learned to read Akashic records.
Okay.
And
So tell
I
us
was just
about them, what they are.
because that's where I was when someone was like, "Oh, you might like to read Akashic records." I was like, "I don't even know what this is. What is happening here?" In this frame of reference, Akashic records, the way I relate to it, and many people relate to it, it's a record of all the choices your soul has ever made,
Okay.
and then past and present, and then in many frames of reference, including mine, there's some future, but that's like a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very useful on a lot of levels.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to get at who you really are a lot faster. You know, it's not so much how you're being, what your identity is, it's who you really are.
Yeah.
And because that gap between them,
Mm-hmm.
that is the identity gap. That is, well, this is who I really am, but this is how I'm being. This is how I feel safe. Let me see if I have my prop. So maybe. So after I've been helping people for quite a while with Akashic records, with reading different healings, this is who you are. These are the things that are blocking you
Yeah.
from embracing it. This is all the strange karmic things. Because a lot of times, sometimes you just need the information. Just info, act, receive. No big whoop.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, it's my opinion, it's karmic when you can't, or you do it and some weird off the wall result happens.
Mm.
Or for everybody else, 1 + 1 = 2, and for you it came out like 54. Like, what? That's a karmic thing. So clearing that. And as I went along, what I realized is all of this relates to energy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything takes resources.
Yeah.
Your energy is the common denominator resources. So if you imagine that this is your capacity to channel vital force energy, vitality, energy of life. So with the gap of this is who you really are and this is how you're being, the further away that gets,
yes,
the smaller your channel to move energy.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
like,
I love that.
this is burnout.
Yeah.
But so a slight movement back to who you really are dramatically increases how much energy you can get through.
Mm.
And that's
Beautiful
what
analogy, and I love the way you've shown that. So we'll definitely show all our listeners on our social channels what you just did so they can see it on video, because that was very powerful. And I think it's that identity gap. That's the work that I'm doing more of now as well. It's around, what part of us has fractured away, and where's that gap, and how do we fill that gap and rebuild it? So I love that. Very powerful stuff.
I know, and I love this kind of work, and that's why I love talking to people who are doing similar work, because it's just like we have some different approaches, common goals, and it's like, how do you reclaim that? How do you reveal that? How do you accept that? Has it been here all along? Like, which part of you are you pretending like isn't part of you?
Yes.
How can we make friends and just bring it all in? If it's really part of you, let's integrate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if it's horrible, let's integrate it because it's not really horrible.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, so for me, one of the things that I was like, oh no, that's not who I really am. It's, controlling and bossy and all of these horrible words. And then I was like, gosh darn it, I'm going to have to either not teach about this or actually do it. So I'm actually doing it. And when I finally was like, oh no, I'm a control freak. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm bossy. Okay. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm also a leader. Oh, I also, and then
Mm.
and it's happened for me. I think it happens for a lot of people. When you finally really integrate something, new things open up. It's like, actually, it
Definitely.
wasn't bad. It's glorious. And here's how. So, so that now I'm bebopping along, helping people left and right. How can this be better? How can this be faster? And it shifts. And this has become, more about other things. It's beyond burnout now.
Yeah.
However, for me, burnout is a result of a spiritual evolution. Your soul went and evolved on
Hmm.
you, and you did not catch up yet, which gives different tools. So it's a
Mm.
different language. Um, so, of course, now we're over here in spiritual crisis and we're doing all of these things. Well, this is just what's your mode of existence. This is why I'm an existential coach. I've used many different labels over the years,
Hmm.
and then I finally landed on this. I was like, oh, that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Everything I do,
Hmm.
purpose, meaning, impact, authenticity,
All of it
agency, all
together.
of these
Yeah.
things, all of it together. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you're just
Hmm.
like, me
Yeah.
too.
And your pharmacy brain was going, no, I don't want that. What about this? This internal
Once
battle would have been happening.
oh, such an internal battle. And that's when I finally released the battle because I was trying all this stuff. Oh no, what do I do? This is a real thing. It was that I was able to help people on such a deep level that I
Mm.
was like, I am kind of willing to look however I look to make this happen. This is so joyful. I actually, I'm never so alive as when I'm in my work with people.
Mm.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I
It
love
is
that
so
too.
uplifting. So now
Yeah.
I'm just like, that makes me look dumb, whatever. If people don't like me, I don't actually care anymore. I'm like, I'm
I
good now.
love it.
This is so
Exactly.
much fun.
And we have to, I think, as we go through these things, we have our own lived experience and we get
Mm-hmm.
a bit older, we sort of put things in perspective and go, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think because the right people will come to us and we're able to help them when they're ready, when we're ready, and it all makes sense. We can't be all things to all people.
I love it. And there for me is a very big difference, a personal lived experience, a big difference of knowing it doesn't matter, I'm going to do my own thing, and then like getting it on a
Yeah,
whole different level. Like, oh, this is what everybody's talking about
yeah,
with, oh, okay. So it's a matter of one of the things I'm sure you do this with people too is like helping them create situations and experiences where they can truly take that in and
yeah,
integrate it in an even deeper way.
yeah.
And then you're like, because for me, my big driver is I am here to help people with freedom. I am a
Hmm.
liberator and empowerer. I
Yeah.
want you to have power. I want you to be free to use it. I want you to be free to do it
Hmm.
or not do it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you do it or not. I just want you to have the freedom. Um, so a lot of this is when you begin to really integrate this bit by bit, that's what gives the freedom. It's like, oh,
Mm.
I really do have choices here. Oh, that's not functional at all. This thing that I've been letting unconsciously drive me, this
Yeah.
motivation that I thought was real that actually isn't mine. That's why
Hmm.
when I achieve my goal, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that wasn't really my goal. Got it.
Mm. I love this so much. I mean, it's
Yeah,
beautiful work that you're doing in the world. And I love that you can open yourself up, be open-minded and just embrace it. And you're spot on that once you integrate it, you can't unsee what you've seen.
exactly.
And once you feel it, like at a cellular level, you can't go back.
Exactly. And one of the things that I have really appreciated here in the last 5 or 6 years is just a solid grounding
Hmm.
because there's not a nice way to say, I feel like a few of my colleagues have kind of gone off in a direction that I don't understand.
Yeah.
like like
Yeah.
we aren't using the same reality. Like, okay. And I'd be more like, love and light, live your life, except sometimes things like that are harmful. So I found it very helpful to help people like, yes, yes, this is who you are. at soul level. This is how you
Mm-hmm.
can tell. This is how it feels. Let's reveal your way
Yeah.
of being in the world
Mm-hmm.
so you can lead yourself to wherever you want to go. Let's help you do that. But let's use critical thinking as well.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
really examine things like logically, if this were true, does it hold internally?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really gives people the freedom to let's explore new ideas where it's not risky anymore. It's like, okay, well, for the next 10 minutes, we're going to relate to this as if it were true and see if it has internal validity and whatever. Okay, and now we're going to back out and see, is that something you want to integrate? Is that
Mm.
something that's for you? Is that something you agree with?
Yeah.
Um, so it's an approach that's been pretty helpful for people.
Yeah. Sounds it. So how you said it took a number of years to really get to the point where you were thinking, yeah, I think I've evolved beyond the burnout. How many years did you honestly feel like it took?
Um, I didn't have a plan. I had
Mm-hmm.
suggestions, and I didn't have anybody to help me. And there were some books in the world, but they weren't, this information was not as easy to access.
Yeah.
So it took me probably 2 years, two and a
Mm-hmm.
half years, which in retrospect, now that I know more about it, it's like, actually, that was pretty quick for where I started.
Mm.
But, um, but yeah, it takes some time.
Yeah.
And then nothing's static.
No,
It wasn't like,
exactly.
ta-da!
Fixed,
It's
all
more
good.
like,
Mm.
check that box. Now I can move on. This is more about, okay, now I've learned how to see things and how to,
Mm-hmm.
well, be as flexible as I'm wired to be,
Yeah.
how to clearly perceive and appropriately respond and kind of read the signs. So that's been a lot more helpful. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, for me, that's one of the ways that I'm real clear if something isn't for me is if I just have a physical exhaustion. like,
Yeah.
like whenever I hear myself say, I am tired just thinking about that. That is not
Not for
for me.
me.
That's
Yeah.
misaligned.
Mm.
But yeah, everything's a continual growth. And this is especially for people who are earlier in their spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask people, they'll go, oh, no, no, life is an evolution. I get it. But you don't like get it.
Yeah.
And so you're like, there is no endpoint to this. Okay.
Mm.
And for some people, that's exciting. And for some people, that's upsetting. Like, well,
Yeah.
here we
Yeah.
are. We
So
are
what
doing
would
it.
be some of the, well, risk factors or signals that people could look for to suggest they might be at risk of going back or going down that exhaustion path again?
Um, well, the first thing is going to sound trite. It's like, are you doing what you love?
Mm-hmm.
Um, now, it's not aligned for everybody on the planet that you have to do what you love. But for the people who are drawn to work with me, yes. These are
Mm.
people who are very conscientious, that want to make an impact. And these are people who are, turns out they're neurodivergent, even though they may not realize it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's what's going on.
Mm. That makes sense.
um, and that's part of why the people I work with are more at risk for burnout,
Yes.
highly conscientious,
Mm-hmm.
a drive for justice. Like there's
Oh,
like
yeah.
this isn't fair.
Mm-hmm.
When people with wiring like mine and many of my clients experience something that isn't fair, it's like you're allergic to it. It's a physical, visceral
Yeah.
reaction. It
Oh, I
is
can relate.
incredibly stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you're in a situation where there's nothing you can do about it. So that's an additional stress. Having high standards, wanting to do a good job, it's high risk factors. So it's a
Yeah.
matter of finding what works for you to create something that's functional in a world that is not honoring function. We're working in several systems
Yeah.
that are dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not aware that I have the ability to change these worldwide systems that have been entrenched for hundreds of years. So
Mm-hmm.
I can only do what I can do.
Yeah.
And And then I can participate in life a lot more fully, in
Mm-hmm.
part because I'm not living from obligation. I don't do stuff because I should. I
Yeah.
don't do stuff because I need to. I
Mm-hmm.
do stuff because I want to.
I love
Do I
that.
still do my taxes? Absolutely.
Oh, yes, we all do
I
those.
sure do. Do I love doing them? No,
No.
absolutely not. But what I do love is remaining in compliance with the laws that are here to support me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like to not be in legal trouble. That's fun for me
Mm-hmm.
to not be in trouble.
Yep.
So I do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that. And that's changed my life, that changes other people's lives, and it gets you real clear on
Mm.
what you actually want to do.
Yeah.
And it gets you a lot more agency. And as you begin to practice it a little bit and participate in fewer obligations, or when you do, doing it, making it a powerful choice, doing it very mindfully. Like, I do not want to do that. I feel manipulated. I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
have to. I feel like I have no choice. I don't want to do that. And given all that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
I choose to do that.
Yep.
So it's the consciousness around it removes a lot of the stress.
Yep.
So it's energetically a lot less costly.
And I think that's, it's that energy level, isn't it? And the layers of the energy that we need to be so aware of, because all of that contributes to that misalignment, that identity gap, and the burnout.
Yeah. And so the way I have discovered is that for a lot of clients, this particular frame is super helpful.
Yep.
We'll see if your audience likes it. I like to relate to things through goals, roles, and resource flow. What
Mm-hmm.
is my goal here? Right here, right now, what's my goal? And how does that align with the future goal that I would relate to as sustainable prosperity?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I trying to get done here? And then be really honest. Like, oh, I'm trying to look good. I'm trying to win this argument. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying, okay, that's not functional. What do I really want? Oh, I want,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's going to boil down to you're going to get your needs met. This, it's all about self connection, self
Mm-hmm.
determination,
Yeah.
self realization. So obviously, getting needs met
Mm-hmm.
sustainably is the core of it. And the
Yeah.
way to do it is what's my goal?
Yep.
And then what is my role? We
Mm-hmm.
always live in a context. We're always in relationship, which means you're always in a role.
Yes.
What is my role here? And that's, people are finding that helpful, especially those of us who have had some people pleasing tendencies, who have
Yes.
had some
Self-
self sacrificing, over delivering. What's my role here? I'm
Mm.
doing this. Like for someone who has a brick and mortar, my role is this. Here's what I'm selling. Here are the services I have. Buy it or don't. Like, this is
Yeah,
what we're doing.
exactly.
And then that helps. It helps with resource flow and the
Mm.
resources of time, money, energy, executive function,
Oh, yeah.
all of this. Um, like it costs a lot less than executive function when your role is very clear.
Mm.
I don't have to like, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? This is what I'm doing?
Yeah. So being
And
really clear, and in that roles area comes boundaries, obviously, that working out how to set your boundaries and that self protection. To
Mhm.
fulfill
Yes,
your
like
goals, you need to protect your role and your boundaries. That makes really good
yes,
sense.
yes, and because you can only act in the moment, so
Mm-hmm.
being present is super helpful. And a person needs to be relatively well resourced.
Yeah.
It is difficult to clearly perceive what is happening when you're not well resourced,
Mm-hmm.
when you're tired, when you haven't had any fun lately, when your needs aren't being met, when you're
Mm-hmm.
just like, well, everything's fine, but it's very difficult. That's not a flow of resources. But when you have that, then you can clearly perceive and appropriately respond instead of
Mm-hmm.
react, where later you're
Yeah.
like, I shouldn't have done
Whoopsie.
that. Whoopsie.
Yeah. No, I really love that. So that's that core framework that you use: goals, roles, Yep. And
It's
resource flow.
it's a part of it,
Yep.
and I want to offer that because people have found that very helpful.
Mm,
What is my goal right now? Be honest.
yes.
And then what is the role? Like, what is the role that would achieve that? What's the role that's appropriate?
Mm,
What are we doing here? And, oh, I'm playing a victim role. Okay, well, that isn't functional. That never takes me where I want to go.
mm-hmm.
What do I really want to do?
Yep.
So it's giving you more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's energetically a lot less expensive.
Yeah.
And then the next part is, what is the resource flow? Am I well resourced enough to do this right now?
Mm-hmm.
Is this okay? Here's my goal. Here's my role. The action is a difficult conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Am I well resourced enough to do that right now? Or is this something I want to consciously say, I want to have this discussion, and right now is not the time?
Yes.
And now it's not hanging over everybody's head. It's not
Mm.
vampire draining all your energy away. It's like,
Mm.
we're doing this, or we're not doing it right now.
I
I
love it.
need to have dinner. I need to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I think they're really good guidelines to help protect us, but to also maximize our capacity. And that's what it's about. As you
absolutely.
said,
Yeah.
sustainability.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then boundaries bring joy.
Mm-hmm.
Boundaries are essential. And through the framework of a role has a position. It
Mm-hmm.
has expectations. It has responsibilities. It has particular tasks. And it has certain behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing different behaviors, you're not fulfilling that role.
Yeah.
Like, so it makes it a lot easier. It's like, oh, and there's something about the human brain or the way we're enculturated is when you talk about roles, they're like, oh, I get it. And then you don't have to spend 2 weeks
Mm.
explaining it. They're like,
Explaining.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, I got it. Yeah, no. And in that role, that would be completely inappropriate. Ergo, that is the boundary.
Yeah. I really love it. I love the way you've structured that, and it absolutely makes sense. So I think that will be
Oh, good.
really valuable resource for our listeners to goals, roles, and resource flow. Very
Yeah.
simple, three things that they can very clearly take away from this amazing conversation and work towards.
I'm so pleased.
Yeah, no, really valuable information. Thank you. So, whereabouts can our listeners find you if they want to work with you? Which I'm sure a lot of them will go, oh my God, yes, she's my person.
How wonderful. Um, vibrantagain.com is
Mm-hmm.
an excellent place to go. I have some other things, other places, but I'm now streamlining back to
Mm-hmm.
vibrantagain.com. Um, so yeah, that's the best place to go for people who are like, I absolutely want to talk to her. Fantastic. There's a place to click for that. If
Excellent.
for people who are like, I don't know yet, noodle around in there.
I love it. And we'll put that in the show notes so everyone can check that out, but they can listen and do that anyway. So, again, really, really helpful and valuable information. And I'm so grateful that you've shared your story and gone deep into it so people, because a lot of people that listen to the podcast reach out and say, oh, this burnout, it's got to be burnout, but I just don't know what to do. I'm exhausted, bone tired. Exactly what you described, that, when you're deciding, can you even turn the dishwasher on today for the whole day? That
Yeah,
might be your only task. That's burnout and adrenal fatigue and all the
it
other stuff layered under it.
absolutely. And if I may, I just want to offer how what I've noticed is for people who are under a lot of stress or have burnout or on the verge of it, everybody knows that self-care is crucial. It's crucial. It truly
Mm-hmm.
is. But what I've noticed is people are taking on self-care as an obligation.
Yes.
Oh, well, I should and I really ought to do this for myself, but I don't. I'm just like, no, that's not what it's for. Think of it as a menu. Let's say you go to a restaurant and they've got this giant menu. Um, Very few of us are having a few beverages from the menu, a couple of appetizers, a couple of main courses, a boatload of sides, a couple of desserts. Nobody's doing that. Maybe you just went in and you're just going to get pie today. Self-care menu. What's a dessert self-care? What is a main self-care? What is a just pick and choose and let it be easy because it's here to support you. It's not, oh, here's an obligation I have to
Yes,
fulfill. It's
another
like, what,
obligation.
right. Like what works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that saying no is the most effective tool for self-care. It's what works for
Absolutely.
me. So you get to find your own. It's going to be great.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the one that probably I've struggled with the most as well, is that saying no, that people pleaser, self-sacrificer within me that was very well ingrained and
Mm-hmm.
has taken a lot of work to move beyond, still comes up occasionally. And that's when I know I'm at risk of going back down that burnout path, because sadly I haven't had it just once. I've had it many times. I didn't
Oh,
learn
that
that lesson.
sucks.
That was my karmic lesson that came back many times.
That sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. But 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 just to like point out and make it a little bit more tangible. So in a situation where a person is like, oh, you hear yourself be give too much of yourself or people please or you feel like you need to, what's your role here? Is your role to make sure they're comfortable? Is that your goal? Is that what we're doing? Or are you trying to get what you want in a healthy, authentic, functional way? And then if someone else doesn't like it or is mad that you aren't making them comfortable, well, guess what? You get to be helpful to them by allowing them their own experience. Like, okay, weird. Huh.
I love it. I love it. And I think just that little reframe can make such a difference, because
Yes.
as you said, we're always a work in progress. There is no
Mhm.
destination. We're on this journey, and we just keep evolving and keep going and growing. And that's all part of the journey, isn't it? Which is
It is.
amazing.
It is. And it's a framework. So you got a couple of handy questions because it's very stressful. You wouldn't be a people pleaser if that wasn't a survival skill.
Absolutely.
So like, oh my God, I have to please this person or I will die. And it doesn't matter that that's not logical. It doesn't matter.
No.
You cannot reason with your limbic system. It does not care.
No. And
So it's
as we know, that's all part of that identity, and we made that decision as little children, whether we were 2, 3, 4, 7, it doesn't matter. But based on what our experiences were at the time, we made that decision that it wasn't safe to speak up too much, to say what you really wanted, to be visible, all sorts of things that
mhm,
contribute to that, don't they? So then it's about teaching our nervous system where it sits, why it sits there, and how to release it, which is exactly the work
exactly.
you're doing.
Exactly. And yours too, the whole that identity.
Mm,
Who is it that I'm becoming? I'm always becoming. Who is it that I'm becoming? How can I
exactly.
do this more consciously? Yeah, love
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I love this too. So, is there anything else, any great pearls of wisdom? I think you've already shared so many. Anything that's burning at the moment that you think, oh, I really need to say this?
Oh, now I have to pick and choose. And we don't have another hour or so.
We could do
Um,
an episode follow up if you like. We can talk about something else next time.
Let me think of let me just see, get present to what might be very helpful. Okay. No matter what is happening, no matter what you think, you are whole, complete, and perfect exactly as you are. There's nothing to fix because you are not broken. To relate to yourself as there's something to fix is not functional, and that's going to perpetuate all kinds of problems. Come see me when you get super burned out. Let's not do that. This is more about you might want to improve something. You want something to be better. You want a new experience. Engage with life in a different way, new experience, but there's nothing to fix. You've got this. This is just, it's a self-leadership process. That's all this is.
Mm, beautiful. Amazing. I love that. That's
You.
nailed it in one. So I just wanted to, yeah, thank you and highly recommend that everyone go and check out Vibrant again. And yeah, I'm sure there's lots of valuable, amazing insights and information. So I always end each episode with a question.
Mhm.
And The question is, what do you think your younger self would think of who you are now and what you've achieved?
What a good question. um, that's just fascinating because it depends on what age you caught me at.
Mm-hmm.
My 4-year-old self would be like, this is amazing. Why did we fool around with anything else?
Mm.
But my 7 or 8-year-old self, who's kind of the conditioning is starting to solidify, would be like, what wackadoodle thing is she doing now? Like, what is going on here? Which has been a really interesting thing because who I really am is this like mystical and intuitive. And that is just not how I related to myself. So yeah, I think that's what she'd think. And I wouldn't it be nice if I could just go back in time and tell all of my younger selves,
Yep.
this is going to be okay. This is going to be fine. We're going to do some cool stuff. There's some stuff to put up with.
Yes.
You've got this. Don't let them tell you differently.
I love that. I love that so much. That's, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your story and the wisdom and amazing tips and insights. It's been very valuable and I'm most grateful.
Thank you so much. You are a delight to talk to. And I know that your clients know this. It's like, oh, there's something about you that just makes it easy to share and easy to be with. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Beautiful. And I think we better come and have another episode sometime in the future.
I think so too.
Yes. And share some more wisdom and woo-woo stuff that whatever comes up. I love it.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for spending this time with me on Growing Tall Poppies. My hope is that today's episode has offered you something more than insight, that it's helped you feel a little more connected to who you are now, a little more trusting of your body, and a little more permission to stand tall without shrinking or forcing yourself forward. Post-traumatic growth isn't about fixing yourself or returning to who you once were. It's about understanding how you adapted, honouring your nervous system, and gently choosing what no longer needs to come with you. New episodes of Growing Tall Poppies are released weekly, every Tuesday, and I'd love for you to continue walking this path with us as we explore identity after adversity, integrity and visibility wounds, nervous system wisdom, and what it truly means to grow forward, grounded, aligned, and embodied. If this episode resonated, I invite you to subscribe, follow, share it with someone that you feel might need it, or simply take a quiet moment to reflect on what's ready to move forward for you. You can also find me on Instagram at Dr. Nat Green, on Facebook at Dr. Natalie Green, or over on YouTube at Dr. Nat Green. And remember, you don't need to rush, and you don't need to hide anymore. Stay connected, stay true, and keep standing tall like the tall poppy you are. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.